Hello, women of the Channel Leadership Network. I'm Jackie Rives, your community leader, and today is another Woman of the Week. I'm so excited to introduce you to Christina Klein, VP of Global Channel Partners with Lansweeper, who has about 15 years in the channel. Thank you so much for being here, Christina.
Thank you so much for having me, Jackie. I'm really excited to be talking with you today.
Me too, me too. All right, so let's start off with some easy ones. Where do you live and where did you grow up, if that's different?
Yeah, so I live in beautiful Seattle, Washington in the Pacific Northwest. I moved here about 28 years ago from the San Francisco Bay Area.
Oh, very nice, very nice. And do you want to tell our listeners what's happened today?
Well, we have a little bit of snowfall, a lot earlier in the year than usual. We don't get snow in Seattle very often, so it's been a lot of fun, but also a little chaotic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Super jealous. All right. So what is a little known fact about you?
Little known facts is I love home improvement and actually own 11 different types of powered saws, let alone all the other tools that honestly, I probably have more tools in my garage than most men do, and actually know how to use them all.
That's awesome. I love that. I actually asked for a circular sander because I actually want to start doing some stuff and
Very
trying
nice.
out.
Happy
So
to
very
share
cool.
it.
Very cool. All right. How about telling us a little bit about your career path and how you reached the position you're in today?
Sure. So I got my start actually in marketing. So I started working with .coms as a marketing manager back in the late 90s, and went from kind of did the whole .com boom to going to Microsoft, where I was a brand manager doing brand management for MSN. And from there, I went over to the infrastructure side at Microsoft and started working with our global ISV partners, doing marketing within the partner ecosystem. I did that for quite some time. I ran my own business for about 12 years, working with large companies like Microsoft and Amazon, NetApp, and throughout all of that experience, always worked in the partner and the channel business. So I've worked with dozens and dozens of global ISVs, really large names all over the world, helping them bring a joint value proposition to market with Microsoft and other companies that I worked with. From there, I actually was working with a small software company here in the Seattle area as a marketing head of marketing and outsourced resource. And when they made a change in their C-suite, they asked me to step in and be CRO. So I went from owning my own business for 12 years, working with a lot of big tech companies, to being the chief revenue officer of a small software company, where they were completely a channel-led, channel sales organization. So I went from running only marketing to running marketing sales exclusively through channel. And we did such a good job that we actually were bought by Microsoft within just over a year of me starting with that company. So I found myself very quickly in need of a new position, and was recruited to Lansweeper shortly after that transaction closed. And I've been working here for the last almost 3 years to help build the channel program at Lansweeper.
Wow, you have such a diverse background. I love it. Like everything kind of played to lead you where you are here today. Amazing.
It's funny. I think I really believe that diversity and experience is key to innovation, key to really thinking and building new business segments, opportunities, thinking really outside the box about how to partner. Quite honestly, I move through each day with a relationship first mentality. And I think this comes from my brand marketing background, right? Where my whole focus was figuring out authentically what an audience needs, and then how to connect the dots between what we have to sell and what the audience is really looking for. And in the channel and in partnering, it's all about relationship, right? I need to make sure that the partners that we choose to work with and that choose to work with us, that there's mutual value and benefit, and that we're there truly to support each other's success, right? So I think as I look back on my career, all of these seemingly disparate experiences I've had actually come together and play in and make it the rich of added value, I guess, to this program that we're working to create.
Absolutely. I love that. Speaking of relationships, what made you want to be in a leadership position?
Oh boy. One, I think because I've been a woman in technology for over 25 years. I've always been a geek ever since I was little. I started coding in binary back on those old DOS computers a very long time ago. So I've always loved technology, and I've always loved what the value is that brings. But as we all know, the ratio of men to women in technology is a little bit off and not representative necessarily of the population in general. So as I have progressed in my career and navigated how to continue to advance and get the interesting projects and work with interesting people and move my career forward, I've realized that there's quite a bit I learned along the way that would have been really helpful to know back in the day. And I'm at that point in my career where my value comes not just from what I can sell or what I can deliver, but what I can give. And I really feel it's important to give back and to help others navigate the journey. So being in the leadership role allows me the opportunity to have that level of influence. Sometimes the title is what people listen to, and while I've never much cared for titles in the past, I do realize the importance of those. So it's not that I've ever necessarily set out to be a VP or be in the C-suite. Those things kind of have just naturally evolved as I've continued to expand and grow my level of influence. Giving back is the reason that I value what I get to do every day. I love building other people up. I love helping break down walls for people. I love being in a position of influence where I can actually make things better for others. And to me, that's the ultimate goal of leadership.
I love that. I love that. How do you continue to grow and develop as a leader?
That's a really good question. I go back to being a little bit of a nerd, and so I read a lot. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I am a member of Chief, so a professional women's networking organization. So I surround myself with peers and other people that have also accomplished similar levels, that I can also learn from. I really seek out opportunities to learn from other people, whether that's in different industries or who have different experiences. Going back to my very crazy and kind of
Diverse
background, let's say, yeah, exactly. What I really have learned, especially being a consultant and running my own business for a long time, is the exposure I had to different ways of thinking and different ideas and different creative inputs is really collectively what makes my contribution different and unique and interesting. So the more people I can talk to and learn from, the better. But I also, like I said, I read a ton of books on how the brain works and psychology and sociology and what motivates people and drives people, and I really try to take that learning and add it into how I show up every day as a leader and how I'm contributing and thinking about building this partner program and giving back to the channel and the partners that I get to work with every day.
That's amazing. I love that you continue to learn and see the importance and value in that. And especially as you're mentioning that you're getting it from, even outside the IT industry, that just makes you very, very well-rounded. You said something earlier about, breaking down barriers. So my next question is, what are some patterns you've noticed over the years about women at work and things that they could be doing better to advance their careers?
Oh, that's such a great question. And this actually I just listened to a podcast on this topic, so it's not a unique idea to me. There's actually a researcher from the University of Pittsburgh who just released a book called The No Club. And I forget the name of the author because I'm terrible at that. But one of the things that women tend to do is we tend to say yes to things that we should be saying no to. We tend to take on the kind of tasks at work that others just think that we should naturally do, right? We fall into some gendered norms in the workplace that don't serve us. So whether it's taking notes in a meeting or being the one to get coffee for folks because we're nice like that, or being the one to raise our hand to be on the party planning committee, things that don't contribute to our professional development, growth, or ascension into leadership, we take those roles on and we don't realize the price we pay in doing that. We don't realize that by having to devote so many hours a month to these non-relatable, non-promotable, not really essential to our career path tasks, it's taking away time that we could have in actually focusing toward the things that'll get us where we need to go further, faster. So learning to really set those boundaries and say no is probably one of the biggest things each of us could do better every day. And I'll be the first to say, I still raise my hand. I just took on planning our sales kickoff for next year. I'm on the partner side of the house. I'm not even on the direct side sales house, right? But I know what we need to do, so let me do this. And quite honestly, it's part of my bigger plan to take over the world. No, just kidding. No, because culturally we're trying to be a more integrated sales organization, and so by me reaching across the aisle to my direct counterparts and really taking the leadership and helping to craft what this looks like, it helps us all. But really, we do sign up for a lot of things we shouldn't be doing, and this is something especially the younger generation falls into, right? Because we sometimes allow ourselves to be treated like we're junior instead of treated like the professionals we were hired to be. And we say, oh, my boss asked me to do this, so I have to. Well, you really don't. Guess what? You could say, you know what? You hired me to do this, and I would think you want me spending my time doing this thing that you hired me to do. So maybe we could find someone else to do it, or I'll do it this time, but let someone else do it next time, right? So I think we need to just get better at setting those boundaries.
Yes, I can relate to everything you just said. I'm a really good note taker, I've heard.
Oh, yeah.
But I love that you gave some tips on maybe how to navigate answering those questions. So thank you for that. I know it'll resonate with someone.
Yeah, I hope so.
I have time for one more. So I think I'm going to go with, because of your experience, I would love to hear what biases or stereotypes you've come across along the way and how you handle them.
Sure. I think the most common, this is a really tricky one to answer in a short period of time. But I think the most common thing that I continue to come across, even in my role now, is people not believing what I say is true until it's validated by someone else, right? So it's a bias that comes, and I struggle to say it's because I'm a woman. I struggle to say it's because I'm American and I work in a European company. I struggle to really pinpoint why this is so, because I don't want to put blame on any one particular thing. I do think that's something that we need to be very cautious of as we're navigating some of these biases and barriers, is becoming the victim of anything and letting that categorize how we move in the world. But at the same time, the one that constantly drives me crazy is I will contribute an idea or I'll contribute my thinking. And then it's not until someone else in the meeting comes over the top and repeats what I said, but maybe uses 2 different words, that everybody goes, oh yeah, good point. You make a really good point. And I'm just, wait, I just said that, right? So I've actually got to the point where I call that out, where I say things like, I'm so glad you agreed with what I just said. And let me help you, let me expand further on what I meant when I said it, right? Like, not having to be a jerk about it, but man, I'm so glad you agree with me. That makes me feel so good. So let's move on. All right.
I love that. I love that.
There are ways to take it back. And there are always ways to reclaim your power, your integrity, the value that you really bring. And that's the key thing I want people to really hear too, especially women, and is you're hired for the value and the experience that you bring to the table. So we have to make sure that we are constantly being assertive with our voice and making sure that our opinions and our experience is expressed, because that is exactly what we were hired to do. And if we withhold our ideas and we bite our tongue and we let someone constantly speak over us or someone speak for us, we're not delivering on the reason we're there. And we each have value that we bring. So make sure we got to use our voices. And then if someone does speak over you, make sure you claim that back.
I love it. I could talk to you forever. But unfortunately, we've already gone over our agreed time, but that's okay, because honestly, I feel like so much of what you said is going to resonate with so many people. I know it did for me. I can't thank you enough for giving us your time and bringing your authentic self and being our Woman of the Week, Christina. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was so nice to meet you. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and best of luck to you.
Thank you. All right, women of the channel, this was another Woman of the Week. We will see you next time.